Geraldo's back with me here as we watch this. You see, what's interesting, just from our perspective, Geraldo, as we watch it, is that you've probably been on campus many times. Also, Columbia, that library, the bit steps, they're looking down, right? And you can hear the protesters chanting. Their view is that tent encampment, and they basically got to scream over the protesters. But what do you make of what you just heard?
I admire the speaker's decision to go there to the belly of the beast, so to speak. The fact that they had the guts to stand on the steps and be jeered is, to me, shows they have some steel in their spine. But on a much more personal level, Connell, my daughter, Sol, is going to college in a couple of months. We're very proud that she's going to an institution I won't name for fear of having her targeted. It's very unnerving. It's very unsettling. You go back to the days when this started, shortly after October 7th, when there were supporters of Hamas that were threatening violence against Jewish kids everywhere. This protest has metastasized. I think a lot of things about it and how it's unfolding. First of all, I demand that my daughter, when she goes to school, is absolutely safe and that she is not targeted because of her religion, which she's very proud of. We all are. You can't be single out students because of their religion. That's not America. I hate to say on the other hand, but I have to say that the war in Gaza has yielded images that would stir the soul, the anger, the fear, the frustration of anyone who watches. All the civilians who've been killed inadvertently as Israel wages this war against Gaza, following October 7th, the worst day for Jews since the Holocaust. There's a lot of boiling emotions here, but right. There are good people. This is a real situation where there are good people on both sides. But what here, looking down those steps to the rotunda there, what they're looking at, half of them are, agitators, or instigators, people with, agendas that are disruptive, and they want to spread a kind of anarchy and fear. That's very unfortunate. It's but I think going back to just very briefly, anecdotally, my own life, 1969, arrested twice in Washington, D.C., there was a uniting of the students there. It was all different races, all different schools protesting against the war in Vietnam. Yeah. It was more of a united thing, even though in a divided country. Here, I think it could go either way. If they don't clamp down on the violence and the anarchy, then there's nothing but chaos ahead. On the other hand, if you get students who never got off their ass to get involved in anything, maybe now is the start of their adult life, Connell.
Yeah, I don't know. What would you say about the comparisons, to then? I mean, I think they made 700-800 arrests, something like that, at Columbia in '68, which you were just talking about, 100 plus this time around. I don't know if history is kind of informing the way the president is handling it. What do you think about the calls for her to resign? And then second of all, about whether she would call back the NYPD and they could handle it in a professional way and kind of move on from this a little bit after the protesters have had their say now for 8 days. We had the NYPD deputy commissioner on last hour. They said they'd have no problem handling this if they were called back in.
I think the NYPD is the go-to agency, but I am troubled by university presidents being forced to resign. I don't think that helps anything. What follows? Is it going to be someone who the kids have no faith in? I don't like the interference. I don't like when someone crosses over. Let me be very clear about this. If you're an outsider and you go to that campus to cause trouble on that campus, or you're an operator, an agent of some foreign country or some real radical violent group, then shame on you. Get out. Get the cops. Bust them. Right. Bust their asses. Let them spend a night in jail. But I don't mind the stirring of emotions. I just want innocents to be protected. I don't want drivers to be harassed and miss their flights. I don't want the property being destroyed.
No, I know.
But I want kids to know that there's a real world out there.
I want to thank you, Geraldo. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.